Hey all, Blake here with another video, and for today's video we're going to unbox this fish food in here. It is a fish food that I have been testing for a little while ago, and I'm thankful that I was introduced to it. This food has quickly become my #1 go-to pellet, and I believe that it can be great for anyone looking for one fish food to rule them all. So let's jump straight into the video. So just because unboxings are one of those things I like to try and keep interesting, throughout this video I'm going to show you some B-roll of my fish eating this particular fish food. So rest assured that any B-roll you see, I'm not doing anything sneaky, feeding some other foods or anything like that. Let's just get straight into talking about these awesome fish foods. So this fish food in here, I'll tell you a little bit of story about it before we jump straight into the unboxing. I was lucky enough to be introduced this through Matt's at Blackwater Aquariums Australia, and he sent me these 2 fish food samples here. He just sent them along to me. He said he's having a great success with these and his dwarf cichlids, and obviously I keep a lot of those myself. So he said, I'll send them along, see what you think, and I have to say that I was blown away. Naturally, I didn't just feed it to my dwarf cichlids, I fed it to everything in here, and I was really shocked. It fed really clean, everything ate it, and it had a nice texture to it. It wasn't hard or crunchy like other pellets, it was more soft. And so because I was so impressed by it, he quickly introduced me to the brains behind the operation. His name's Johan, and he's the distributor for DRP Fish Foods to Blackwater Aquariums Australia, but also to many stores hopefully in the future. And I, obviously let him know that his fish food is absolutely awesome. And he told me the story about how it began. This fish food was born from a hobbyist, first of all, and I love these stories. You've heard me talk about them before. But Johan was particularly interested in German blue rams. He was confused why they kept randomly dying, and he had heard stories about, I think it's pretty common, we have all heard the same stories, that German blue rams just seem to go belly up one day and nobody really knows why. He deduced that it was because feeding frozen foods and live foods, there's sometimes little parasites and stuff in there that can affect your fish. So he wanted to develop an all-in-one formula that could grow your dwarf cichlids really quickly and raise them up without any issues of parasitic invasion. So with that, it needed to be something that was all-encompassing, something that was varied in its ingredients and very healthy for your fish. So what he's developed here is DRP Fish Food, which we'll jump in and take a look at now. Other great things about this fish food is that it contains no added colors, hormones, or preservatives. So it's very natural for your fish, which I think can only be a benefit. You might even be aware of Johan. His German blue rams are pretty famous now amongst Australian hobbyists, especially on Facebook. So you may well have seen photos of his rams before. They're really impressive. So since developing this food, Johan has even tested these on his own breeding blue rams, and he's raised up fry from wriggler stage to adulthood exclusively on this food. He even let me know he stopped feeding live foods altogether for the purpose of the test, and they were successfully raised up to adulthood just on this food alone. So that tells me that it's incredibly well-rounded and is going to be a great addition to your fish room, or is a potential to be an exclusive fish food for you to feed. So as I mentioned earlier, Matt's from Blackwater Aquariums today. These are the samples that he sent me. This is DRP1 and DRP2. DRP1 is the smallest pellet that is available in this range, and it starts off at a 0.5mm pellet and goes up to 1mm or 0.9 millimeters. And DRP2 kicks off from there and goes from 0.9 to 1.8. And it's also suitable for all sorts of fish, be that freshwater or marine. So once we have DRP2 finishing off at the 1.8mm diameter, then we have DRP3, which is a 1.3mm pellet. From there we have the DRP4, which is a 2.3mm pellet. And then the largest one is DRP5, which is a 4mm pellet. So there you can see the 5 sizes of DRP foods that we've received today, starting at the 1, heading across to the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, and as you can probably figure out, they do increase in size. So you can see the 5 sizes that we do have available, but we were just talking about raising up dwarf cichlid fry, which aren't the biggest fry, from newborn wrigglers to adulthood on this food exclusively. So a 0.5mm pellet, although it is small, would still be a struggle for a newborn fry to be able to eat. And this is where I think this food really comes into its own and becomes head and shoulders above the rest. And that is because DRP 1 and 2, being that softer texture, they have a really great ability of being able to be crushed into a fine fry powder just using your fingertips. So I will demonstrate that now on DRP 1 and DRP 2, and you'll see just really how nice and fine and easily it crumbles up. Okay, so I'll demonstrate to you now just how easy it is. I'll just take a pinch of DRP 1, and as you can see, we've got some really nice fine powder fry food falling out there. So some bits are slipping through, that's just my clumsiness trying to film and crush it at the same time. But that's not going to be a huge issue anyway, because it is a bit of a nicer, soft sort of food. Now I'll demonstrate it with the DRP 2. Once again, sorry for the close-up on my fingers, but just roll it gently between our index finger and thumb, and just like that, really nice powderized fry food. Now, just in the interest of clarity, the DRP 3, 4 and 5 are slightly more firm and are going to be a bit more of an issue to crunch up. So say for example, if you exclusively have Oscars and you're looking at picking up the DRP 5, then I'd recommend keeping a pepper grinder or something like that on hand in case you do have Oscar fry. Another key reason that I'm choosing to do this video on this food today is that there's an aspect to it that not many other fish foods have, and it's kind of a thing that proves that this contains exclusively natural and good ingredients for your fish, and that is the fact that health organizations such as the FDA have approved this food for use in the raising of fish for human consumption. So if there was any question about anything that would be going in this fish food, well, I highly doubt that they would sign off on it for you and I to eat. So there you go guys, that was my introduction into DRP fish foods. I think in the near future it will become huge in the Australian market. I've been really impressed. I think it's super versatile and contains really great ingredients. So I definitely recommend picking it up, and if you do, head over to Blackwater Aquariums Australia and at least pick up the DRP 1 and 2, because that versatility around turning it into a fry food is just next to none. So hopefully you liked this video, and if you did, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe and all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.